All right, welcome back, Prospect Live viewers. We're back with another 2021 MLB Draft interview. In the hot seat today, probably one of the biggest name college players we've had thus far. That is University of Miami's catcher, Adrian Del Castillo, former Wareham Gateman. I got to drop that in there. How you doing?
How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. Yeah, for sure. Wareham Gateman. I'm proud to wear that uniform.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good.
I saw you, over a year ago, man. It breaks my heart I wasn't able to get back down to the Cape, but I'm happy you were able to at least have that experience, because there's very few guys in this class, if you don't mind me jumping in, Joe, that have had that experience. So before we jump into everything else, if you don't mind, I kind of wanted to hear a little bit about, how you felt sort of that Cape experience was over the summer, and maybe how it potentially prepared you to, of course, a shortened 2020 season, but your stock certainly jumped a lot at that period.
Yeah, it was definitely, a good experience. Definitely a very hard league, and definitely helped me a lot, especially in my game now. Also, my coaches, I credit a lot to Jerry Weinstein. He was my head coach at Wareham. He's a very good catching coach, and I learned a ton from him. So I was fortunate to have him, and just have him around as far as hitting and catching. He's been in the game as probably longer than a lot of people have, and just to learn from him was awesome. And also my teammates. I got to play games with teammates that I just met a couple of weeks ago, and it was fun. You battle out, and you're playing against the best of the best in that league. So you gotta perform. So definitely, it was awesome.
Yes, sir. 2020, it was a difficult year. It's kind of been beaten to death. I don't want to ask, how you got through it. Obviously, it was different for everyone. But one angle that I want to take is, with how challenging it was, and with the amount of downtime that you had over the summer and in the fall and in the winter, how has that helped you prepare mentally, physically for 2021, and what you hope to aspire to succeed and do this year?
Yeah, it helped me a ton. Honestly, sorry, the metro's there.
You're fine.
Yeah, so definitely, I had a lot more time to definitely focus on my lifting. I think everybody did. Everybody worked hard as far as anything. You can work a lot hard, more weight. When you don't have games to play, and you can be as sore as you want the next day if you don't have a game to play. So definitely, I took advantage of that, and I also worked on my catching. I worked with Salvador Perez and Pedro Gafol, which is the bench coach for the Royals. And Salvador and both of them definitely helped me a ton, and I picked their brains a lot. So it was definitely an enjoyable. Obviously 2021 sucked that they cut the season short, but I thought it was helpful. I was able to work with Gold Glove winner, and the bench coach for the Royals. So just to see what they're doing up there, and feeding off what they tell me, it was huge.
Sure. And you've had exposure, as you just said, to, Salvador Perez, professional coaches, a guy like Jerry Weinstein, who I don't think, for those of you who are out there who aren't familiar with Jerry, great follow on Twitter, probably, one of these guys, although he's an older gentleman, he's right on the cutting edge of, a lot of the stuff that's going on just within, catcher development, et cetera. I'm interested to dig in a little bit on that. You've had exposure to all these guys, and I think, we as a website, view you as, one of the best bats in the class, and some of the questions sort of surround the catching ability. It's been an area where you've obviously focused a lot. What sort of things are you really trying to hone in on and improve within that catcher skill set? Because it's a big task. I mean, this job is a lot different from playing center field, shortstop, any other position in baseball. There's so much you have to know and do.
Yeah. So I'm kind of working right now just to manage our staff, and be a leader back there. And it's not even just my bullpen or my pitchers, as far as the whole entire team. So I think what I learned from Jerry Weinstein and Salvador Perez is that back there is really mental, and you got to come out to play every day, because catching is one of the hardest positions, if not the hardest position to play, and it's all mentality. I saw Salvador Perez every day, for 2 months before the season, and every day he got there at 8 a.m, and he was happy to go 100%, 110% actually. It was awesome to just see that, and I'm kind of, trying to model my game after him too, going to the field with excitement, having fun, but also, focusing and getting our work in. But so yeah, just enjoying it. Yeah.
I got another question about catching because the landscape of being a catcher could change in the next 3, 4, 5 years. You've received high marks for your soft hands and your ability to receive the ball, but where do you land on the potential for robo umps and a tech strike zone, if you will? Does that? I mean, I guess I'll just open the floor to you, Adrian. Where do you stand on those sort of enhancements or movements in baseball?
Yeah, I mean, no catcher, I'm sure is gonna like that. Obviously the square boxes with I think it's a TrackMan that says the strikes or balls, right? And it kind of steals a little bit of our game. It's an art back there that we got to do, and framing pitches is an art, blocking pitches is an art, like anything. So and mostly important was the framing. We're trying to steal strikes. We're trying to get into positions. We're trying to put their gloves lower in the ground, or maybe like under the knee, or to just try to steal that low strike or that outside pitch. And it's honestly, it's fun. It's fun back there for us, and it's awesome when you steal a strike and you see it. So, it kind of takes away that excitement. And you're just gonna have to just catch the ball, and let the computer do what it does. So, I mean, I'm sure you can catch. You can ask any catcher. I doubt they're gonna really like that as much. But if it comes down to that, we're gonna have to, deal with it. So,
and you'll figure out how to trick the system, hopefully.
Exactly.
But I appreciate the line about art, because I think that's really what it comes down to, is like the art versus the science of it, and the application of the ability and doing all the things on a game-to-game basis. You talked a little bit about managing the pitching staff, and I think this is an interesting angle, because you had 3 arms, 2 guys that were drafted. Brian Van Bell, who signed as an undrafted free agent, obviously a 5-round draft, probably would have gone anyway. You got to work with some professional arms, some guys with high-end stuff. A guy like McMahon with an excellent changeup, Ciccone with that high-end fastball and all the stuff that he offers. What did you sort of learn from working with that staff? I mean, you were with him for a few years, and obviously you didn't get a full season in 2020, but I'm sure there was a lot you probably could have taken away just from working with those guys and, showcasing some of the stuff that you can handle.
Yeah, so I mean, every pitcher's different. Van Bell has a different, mentality, and I got to work with him. And Slade and McMahon, they all have different things, And I tell them a lot to just, hey, communicate with me, even if it's something bad. Tell me, man, you're not gonna hurt my feelings. That's what I tell them. If they say, oh my, I'm setting up too late, or my gloves looking weird, I'm not giving a good target. But tell me, And you have to kind of like adapt to each pitcher, to their liking, and go off that. I know those 3 guys were awesome to catch. And during the games, in between innings, they didn't really say much. It was 1, 2, 3, pretty fast back in the dugout, which was exciting for me. I don't have to, dwell, go crazy back there, getting tired and stuff. But yeah, those guys were awesome to catch. And this year, we're looking good too. And I say we have more of a bullpen. I don't think we have a huge bullpen last year. This year, definitely, we have a ton of guys. And a ton of arms and a ton of new guys. So I had to, step my game up and communicate with them, and they had to communicate with me, and they know that. So for sure.
I love it. You're the 3rd or 4th catcher we've talked to, and the overarching theme is always mentality. Every pitcher's different. You got to slap them around a little bit. You got to know how they tick. And that's what makes, catchers, I think, great coaches, great managers after their careers are over. So I want to switch gears a little bit, talk about the bat, because, for as good as you are behind the plate, you receive really high marks with the bat. A lot of people would consider you one of the top 1 or 2 best college bats in the class. Can you kind of talk about how that bat has developed from the time you were in high school to where it is now, and why folks seem to think, and rightly so, that you're just so far ahead of some of the other college bats that might be available this year?
Yeah, so I mean, from high school to college, there's not much of a difference. Obviously there's guys throwing harder, and maybe you just got to focus a little bit more. But I haven't changed absolutely anything in my swing. Maybe starting a little bit earlier. Try to time that pitcher up a little bit sooner. Maybe that's the only adjustment. But yeah, just little adjustments like that. I think My dad is basically my hitting coach, and he was saying, "Hey, if you're in a slump, it's not your mechanics, it's your eyes. It's a mental approach too. Your eyes don't lie to you ever. So if you're not focusing on the ball, you're not gonna hit it square. So that's what I focus every day. Hitting and in the games as well. Just trying to get my eyes ready and let my body do what it's been trained to do.
Yeah.
And it sounds like, based on what you just said, that, and I think this is a common theme amongst some of the best hitters and really players within this class, college and prep side that we've spoke with. But it feels like you're probably a feel over tech guy. But are you familiar with the tech? Have you utilized any tech, whether it's blast motion or any of the other stuff, just to, maybe take a look at, measurements or goals, benchmarks that you're trying to reach or achieve?
Yeah, we use blast motion here at UM, and I really don't look at it much, and I know our hitting coach Lopes, he doesn't let us really look at it because it does get in your head a little too much. I've seen some guys the first week they gave it to us, we had the app and everything when everybody was going crazy. Oh, my swing path is 80% or whatever the number is, and you see the guys that are like at 50s, and it's showing you that it's red, and then they get in their head saying, oh, like, why isn't mine 80? Like, I need to do something different, but it's not. Like, I feel like everybody's has a different swing, and look at Hunter Pence. I love talking about that guy. Hunter Pence has crazy swing, but he doesn't, man. And I don't know about his blast motions, but definitely I don't know if they're good or bad, but his vision is most important, I'm sure, and he just gets the barrel on the ball. That's the main goal.
Yeah, long-time pro too.
Yeah.
Well, I want to talk about barrels because you got yourself, you got Alex Terrell, and you got Ray Gill. I think Ray Gill is still with the program. He might have gone pro. I apologize if I got that mistaken.
Yeah.
How would you feel if you were an opposing pitcher having to step onto the mound to face that three? That's a lot of thunder.
Yeah, honestly, yeah. I'd be a little intimidating. I wasn't pitching, so I wouldn't, do so good. Hope maybe, but
must be nice to fit into that little three-way there.
Yeah.
I got one more question here for you, Adrian, and it definitely has to do with what's next for you. I mean, you've been near the top of a lot of draft boards, and I want to know. It sounds like you've worked really hard on your catching. Where do you still hope to improve in the next 7 months leading up to draft day? Of course, you got the 2021 season coming up, so I figure that's a big portion of your goals.
Yeah, just improving, softening my hands, and I worked a lot on the, starting the glove on the ground. You see everybody in the major leagues starting the glove on the ground, or maybe even on that knee too. But you gotta like time it up. It's actually pretty tough. They make it look easy up there, but yeah, I'm sure they practice a ton, and that's what I've been doing. I've been practicing, with the glove on the ground or just a little bit under my knees, just try to get that low strike, and bringing it up, trying to present it to the umpire, but also doing it smooth and catching it in the pocket. So definitely just perfecting that.
So I'll follow up here with sort of my last baseball question. You've been around the team already this fall on some workouts, that sort of thing. Tell us the arm on the Miami staff that we may not be on right now, but will be come May. Like, who's going to be the breakout guy on that staff? There may be a few, but who's the guys that have impressed you the most?
I'd say Daniel Fetterman. I think you didn't really see him. Well, you did. He was a closer past 2 years, and he's gonna be a starter this year. Hopefully, a Friday night, which I think he should be. He definitely deserved it, and I think he's gonna do good. In the Cape, he was a starter in the Cape, and he's phenomenal. Every game I'd ask him, hey, how'd you pitch? And he would do, hey, like I pitched 5 or 6 innings, and only 1 run or 0 runs, anything like that. And I think he's gonna be exciting to watch this year. Hopefully, we get a couple hits to try to make him a little more comfortable out there. A couple runs. So
sure.
Love it, man. Well, Ralph, I don't have any more baseball questions. I'm gonna spare Adrian the silly question because I feel like asking him about Pitbull as a Miami native would just be a waste of time.
Yeah.
So, hey man, it was an absolute pleasure having you on the show. I mean, we're huge fans of you, big fans of the University of Miami. You're doing great things, and we'll be watching, man. We're paying attention.
For sure. Appreciate you guys having me.
Of course. Absolutely, man. Good luck in the draft and bring home a national championship. We'll be rooting for you, man.
Yes, sir.